Hello my angels and devils and all who may wonder here. It is Amanda Christina, and as promised it is time for cinnamon roll pancake recipe. Now I'm not measuring because I'm used to doing this without measuring and I cannot find my cup measure. I don't think I have one handy, but you start with 2 cups of self-raising flour. So I'm just gonna, or what looks like 2 cups to me. It might be a little bit more or a little bit less. I can always adjust as I go. Now, if you're not a good cook, make sure you measure your ingredients. If you are good and you can handle sort of adjusting as you go, then adjust as you go. Don't stress it too much. But the next thing we're going to do is we only want a nominal amount of this because honestly, we basically have a lot of sweetness going into this, so you just really want about a tablespoon, maybe 2 of some just plain regular sugar, whatever sort of sugar, brown sugar, white sugar, whatever sugar you feel like using. Then we want 2 eggs, now this is going to be a 2-part video just because we're going to have to cook this and I don't have a pause button anymore. And that's probably good because at the moment I need, so 2 eggs, 2 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 eggs, a splosh of vanilla. I'm nearly out of my, I hope this goes on special again soon because I love my vanilla extract, and a cup of milk. It's that simple for the pancake mixture. I'm going to pour in what is approximately a cup of milk, give or take. You can add as you go or alter this, like if there's too much flour you can add more milk, if there's not enough flour you can add more flour, so don't stress too much. Now this is our basic pancake mix and I'm not, well, and I've just made a big mess everywhere, which is what I didn't want to do tonight. Okay, so we're just going to mix it. I may need, looking at this, just a little more milk, but we'll mix it through a bit more. Yeah, definitely needs a bit more milk. Now, as I said, I've given you the exact what works. I've done it with the exact measurements and it works perfectly. I will be honest about that. It works really well. What you're looking for is, gee, that's going to need more milk again, is you kind of want a loose pancake batter. Because you're going to bake this like a cake, you want it to sort of have, you don't want it to be too thick, but you don't want it to be too thin. And as I said, like, because I didn't measure this, I'm not 100, but I probably put in a little more flour than I needed to, or some such, but you want it to be something that you can spread, and you'll understand that in a minute. So we're going to, don't stress if you have lumps. I'm more stressed about the batter being a little bit thinner, and you'll understand that, as I said, when we come to actually make the swirl part. Gosh, I hope I bought something to swirl this with me. Check my handy dandy trolley in a minute. So you're basically just looking for a pancake batter consistency. Oh my god, I am so sorry, guys. Oh, you can tell I'm not well. You can tell life has been very interesting lately. So that looks about the consistency we want. As I said, the lumps aren't going to matter, because anybody who's made pancakes before will tell you a lumpy batter still makes a really good pancake. So you want that kind of drop off the whisk consistency. Let me check. Yep. Okay, I have something to mix things through. Now, the other thing you're going to need is, and I've pre-made this just to make things a little quicker, is I just put this in a snap lock bag. I haven't mixed it super well yet. Basically, you want to throw in a couple of good handfuls of brown sugar and mix it with a nice glob of cinnamon. And you want it to be the ground cinnamon for this, just because it yeah, it'll work better. You don't want, there's nothing worse than, and I don't even know, I think I've made enough. You could probably make more. You want a couple of good, really good handfuls, and then you want a very, not too much, you just want a small amount of white sugar with cinnamon in it, and that is for the top. Now, this melts into it and gives you that really nice cinnamon roll thing. This gives you a gorgeous, gorgeous crunch on the top, which just gives you another texture, which I just thought was really nice. Now, this is a Christmas thing. As I said, this is super easy, but it is very indulgent. It is the perfect thing to wake up to on Christmas morning. So what you're going to do is, I forgot to grease this, so I'm just going to grab some oil and just use my finger and rub the oil around. Now, chances are, because of the sugar, this will stick a little bit in your bottom, so you want to use something like this Pyrex because it cleans up really nicely. Lucky I cleaned my hands before doing this. So now we've just got a nicely greased container. Then what we're going to do is we're going to pour some of this onto the base. So you want to start with the base of this. Kind of want to splodge it out. Trying not to make too much of a mess because we've got another fun thing coming up soon. Although that will probably go up before this, because I'm thinking this might be a good Sunday, a Saturday night, Sunday brunch type video. Okay. So basically you want a nice coating of the mix, and as I said, I may not have made enough brown sugar. Then what you're going to do is you're going to generously coat the top of this with your brown sugar, and we're going to do this in 2 or 3 layers. So you want a nice coating, and the thing with the brown sugar is it will melt into this, so you're not actually going to see the brown sugar. So that should be a nice generous enough coating, and then we're going to pour over some more of the batter. Oops. And then we're going to leave some for the top. Now, when this bakes, it bakes like a really it bakes up like a cake, but it tastes like, it's amazing. It tastes like a pancake. You don't have to fry it, so I guess in that way it could be a little better for you, although we're adding a lot of sugar, so this is definitely a sometimes food. This is not something you'd make every day or even every other week. It is really a special thing, I think, but it's super simple. Like, I know this probably looks like a lot of steps. We're just going to trying to chuck a bit more into places where the brown sugar is. It doesn't matter if you don't cover all the brown sugar. Oops, and I'm getting pancake batter everywhere. And then we're going to do another generous layer, and then we're going to do that. Now, remember, the more of this you have, the sort of more you get that really nice... I probably should have put more on the bottom layer, but I'm just going to go for broke here because we're about to put the other layer on. So, let me just very gently sort of sploosh over the final layer, and then I'll show you how we get this all nice and cinnamon swirly. I probably could have used a little bit more pancake batter, but that's okay, because by the time this all gets sploosh... Oh, and I'm sorry, I am being terrible at showing you what I'm doing. Hang on, let me get the bowl out of your way. What I'm going to do is just very gently try and coax all this... So I've got a knife here. Where did I put the knife? Okay, so I'm just going to very gently try and coax out this mixture. I think I may have overdone the brown sugar in this one, but the true test is whether it tastes good. So what you do is you take your knife and you literally are going to swirl your... See how you've got that really nice swirly texture? And you kind of want to, I guess, bury the sugar a bit. You don't want too much of the sugar at the top, so you just want to make sure you've done a nice pattern through it, and that's it. That's the swirl part done. So that is what we have now. Now, just for, you don't need to do this. This is that little extra that just puts this over the top, because you get this beautiful soft texture here. It's really nice to just put a layer, and you don't need loads of this. You just literally are putting a layer of a couple of small handfuls over this, and that will give you a nice crunch. So let's say crunch. A nice crunch when it is all done, and that's it. That is that simple. Now we're going to bake this for approximately, depending on your oven, a moderate oven, about for anywhere from about 20 minutes to about 30 to 35, depending on your oven. I'm just going to pop these little bubbles here. As you can see, it's acting like a pancake. It's bubbling. Once that is cooked, I will come back and do a second part to this video and you will see how amazing this is, and we will make some really yummy icing to go with it. Remember to, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know below if you're going to try this recipe, and I will see you real soon with part 2. Bye, my angels and devils.